Hi, so my name is Ope and I'm recording this video to answer some questions that people had about my business and anything like that. So to start this video off, I thought I'd tell like a little bit of a backstory about my business. So I've been open, I've had my account, my website since February. I started taking orders right before Christmas if I remember correct, and I ended up opening my website in February, so 2 months later of this year. I started off only selling iridescent do-rags, and that was a theme I was going for. So now I've moved on and I'm working my way into clothing because that's what I wanted to do when I made this brand. I'm also sorry if you hear anything. I'm wearing my AirPods because it's raining so loud right now that I feel like that's the only way that you can hear me clearly over the storm. 2 or 3 days ago, I posted something on Instagram for anyone to ask me any business related questions, and I haven't looked at them. I just screenshotted it and I'm going to look at it right now on my laptop. So if I'm looking up, it's because my laptop is right in front of me and I'm trying to look at the questions and where to start. Not like pre-plan these answers. I just wanted it to be raw and here. So this is what I'm doing. First question I'll pick. Where do you gather inspiration from? Because I saw that question repeating in different words a lot. So I gather my inspiration from a lot of things. I gather my inspiration from pop culture, current events, and music, especially music. When I made the iridescent do-rags, I was really inspired by the early 2000s. Holographic patterning was kind of in, and I like do-rags. I wore do-rags because I used to have waves, so I would always want do-rags, and then I would buy some really cheap ones and they would end up breaking. So then I just thought, why not make my own? But I want it to look cool. I don't want to just wear a black do-rag. So that's how I started doing do-rags. So that's one way that something I made caused like inspiration. People liked it, people asked me to buy it, so I made a website and put it up. How did you learn to sew? Did you just wing it? That was the question. So to answer that question, no, I didn't. I've actually been sewing since I was 14, so that would make it 6 years of knowing how to sew. When I was 14, of course, I did not sew very well. I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe if I can find a picture, I'll insert something. I went to an art high school where we had basically majors, and my major was fashion design, so I focused in on that and I learned how to sew. How do you deal with burnout? So basically, I'm still learning how to deal with that. I just had a collection come out, and I think that was the most amount of orders I had ever gotten for the halter tops. It was very overwhelming actually, and I felt creatively drained for a little bit, so I had to take a break from Instagram posting on social media because the orders were honestly just getting so overwhelming and people asking for a lot of requests that was really hard to fulfill. But nonetheless, I'm so grateful for it. It was a very good learning lesson. And sorry, I'm rambling. How do I deal with burnout? I take a break, because honestly, I realized when I would just try to sew for hours, things would start messing up. I would start getting tired. I would forget little details on it, and then that leads to not a quality product, and then I throw it away and then I have to make a new one because I don't want to sell that to anyone, you know? So how to deal with burnout? Take a break. That's what you need to do. How do you see your brand growing in the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, my brand will have expanded more than what it is. I won't be having to hand sew everything anymore because that is very time consuming, strenuous. I love sewing, but when the orders become so much, it becomes a problem with quality. and not quantity. I don't care about how many things I can make. I care about the quality, because I can make something 200 times, and if 100 of them are messed up, I'm not going to want to sell them. I would like to make consistent products for people. So not one person getting something on my good day, another person getting something on my off day. You know, I want to make sure that all my products are uniform. Just like when you go into a store, you go into the store and everything is the same. There's no messed up stitching. Maybe there's some faulty items, but there's never any, you know, problems like that. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So where do I see myself in the next 5 years? I see myself as an established brand, like the likes of brands that inspire me, Matte Brand, the K Label, brands like that. Those brands inspire me, and they have also been always the ones that I look for inspiration when I think of what to do next. They're brands that I want to be like. Amazing. What has been your biggest hurdle to overcome? I think one of the biggest problems that I faced was when I started making the do-rags and the orders became so overwhelming. I had to find a seamstress to help me, and she did not care about my brand the way I did, and her work was just inconsistent, sloppy, messy. Wasted a bunch of my money giving it to her when I had to end up redoing them all myself. She was very unprofessional. So I've just learned now that from that experience, I can learn that not everyone will have the passion that you have for your brand, which is why you have to be the person to lay down the rules. Being picky is okay, because when you're picky, people understand that you take that stuff serious from the jump. And me, sometimes I'm soft-spoken, but now I know from that lesson that when it comes to my brand, I have to be precise. I have to tell them what I want to the T, because if it comes out like what it's not supposed to, then that's problems. So that was the biggest hurdle, wasting hundreds of dollars paying someone to do the work for me when I had to end up doing it myself again. So yeah. So another question, do you see your brand collaborating with other brands, and what types of brands and what types of brand collaborations? Okay. Oh, okay. So I think I read the question wrong. Do you see your brand collaborating with any other brands, and what types of brands are they? So I've never actually seen brand collaborations that I could think of actually, but when I think of what kind of brands they would be small brands, you know, of artists. I'm very into artwork. I would love to have a graphic designer and artist put something on my clothes. That's the collaboration I imagine. Maybe later on, I would like a brand like Matte Brand or K Label to collab with me. But for now, I think that I would love a graphic artist to collab with me. That's the goal. Some of the questions are sort of similar, so I'm kind of like grouping them together so that I don't have to repeat the same things, because they're quite similar and I don't want to be repeating myself. Good question. I see one. How do you keep track of expenses and profit, etc.? Do you use any apps or spreadsheets? You know what's so crazy about that actually? The way I keep track of my expenses is so messy. I have a notes page. Actually, 3 nights ago, I just opened an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm working on my next collection, and I want to make sure that I have all the finances in check and that I know how much I'm spending, because notes isn't as good as a spreadsheet would be. It is smart. I'm like glad that you said that question. Spreadsheet is very necessary. If anyone knows any apps that can help with tracking expenses for my business, please let me know. But that question is so good, because people do not know the little tiny things that it takes to go into a business, like the packaging, the stickers, the thank you cards, boxes, poly mailers, shipping. How do you create your designs? I feel like that goes kind of in with the inspiration question, but how do I create my designs? I really have mood boards on Pinterest. I have music videos I watch, TV shows. I'm very inspired by the 2000s. I think that almost everything I've made so far has been somewhat reminiscent of the 2000s and the things I'll continue to put out. That is the era for me. How does it feel to be a boss? I like that question. So honestly, being in charge of myself is amazing. Since I was 14 or 15, I've always had a job, and this is the first time that I could be in charge of myself. You know, I invent my own schedule, which is something I've never been used to. I've always been used to being given a schedule. So now I'm in charge of that, and I have to make sure that I have time to do certain things. For example, packaging an order, mailing orders out, sewing the orders. I have to carve time out of that. So sometimes I can't hang out with my friends and just do something fun, and I can't just sit in my bed and watch Netflix. I have to actually sew. Sometimes when I'm sewing, I'll watch a show in the background, but I most likely don't do that. I love listening to music while I sew. It's very calming. It puts me in a mood. It makes me feel like I'm sewing something with intention. Like, yeah. So, how does it feel to be a boss? Amazing. You're a boss too. I don't really see any other questions that seem completely different from the ones I've answered. They're just all kind of worded different but the same. No, wait, I see a good question. What are some goals you have for the future of your brand? That could go into the 5-year question, but it's so funny. They were asked right after another by 2 different people. But anyway, what are some goals you have for the future of your brand? Some of my goals for my brand is to expand with a manufacturer, to update my packaging. It's gonna be very professional. I also plan on hitting my revenue goal with my brand within the next year. I actually am going to create a spreadsheet predicting that. I would also love to find an influencer or someone that I truly love to see in my brand. It's coming soon. I promised myself that much. My next collection is coming out very soon, and so yeah, my next collection is coming out very soon. So if you're not already following me, you should subscribe to my channel if you want me to post more videos about business tips and anything to help you, or comment something that I should do a video on. I really like doing videos. Even if like one person views this video, someone's getting information. Last week, I think 3 people DM'd me telling me about the manifestation video that I posted, and it just makes me happy that someone saw that video and decided to DM me on social media. That's pretty cool. But I think that's it for this video. I have nothing more to say. I'm sorry if you didn't get to ask a question. Maybe if you comment it, I'll see it and I'll reply and then pin it for all the questions, and hopefully I get to make another video soon. I don't really have a video schedule of when I make the videos. I just post videos when I feel like it and when I'm not sewing. So right now I'm probably actually going to go sew, or no, I'm going to go edit this video now and I'm gonna post it. So thank you so much for everyone who's watched this video. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for supporting my brand. Thank you for asking these questions, everyone that asked these questions. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.